Unity of the Huachucas presents Susan Smith, LUT.
The freedom of faith.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, things are falling. That's okay. Okay, I got my phone. I got my watch, so don't worry, I won't go too long. All right. Well, good morning, everyone. It's so nice to be with you. Oh, gosh, I just feel filled up with all that great music and all those great words, and just wow. But I'll say some more. Don't worry. And it's so fun. Last week, I went to a Discover Your Divinity retreat with Reverend Deanne Morency and Reverend Linda Martella Whitsitt. And it's interesting, two of the songs you played this morning, they played during this conference. Isn't that cool? And then you play Rise Up from Faith Rivera, and that's the first time I've heard that song in a congregation. That came out. She released that album, and I was one of her, I pre-ordered, I was part of her Rise Tribe. And it came out April 2020. So she got to perform it. And actually for her, she got to do a lot of distance performing and things. So that was just special to me to be here and sing all that with you. So I'm feeling filled up. So today's topic is the freedom of faith. So what do I mean by freedom? I know you guys have been exploring it all month, right? It's really kind of what we're here about, right? That's kind of the basis of unity. If you look at the core unity text, what we call our foundational text, Lessons of Truth by Emily Cady, her first chapter is bondage or liberty, which? And really what we teach in unity is that we have a choice. We get to pay in consciousness of where we're focusing our attention on, okay? So freedom, and what does freedom mean? It's just, I don't know about you, I just want to be free to be me, right? I want to be free from these bondage that we put ourselves, ideas and thoughts of lack and limitation within myself, within the circumstances, within life itself. We want freedom from that. We want to be free to really know our divinity and know that divinity lies within all things, right? Now, I don't know about you, but I have this human part of me which gets a little conflicted about this idea. Because I look around, I might feel things within my body, my relationships, within my finances, within my community, within the country, the world. And I go, well, I don't know, Because I feel like there's a lot of bonds, there's a lot of things that I want different, and can I really express myself and really make a difference? Kind of feel. So, and that's not 100% of me who's living in life and in circumstances, and that's really valuable. Because you know what that is, that 100% human part of me? That's my playing field. That's my practice field. That's where I get to express the divine. So in this retreat I went to, they're very, very clear to embrace our 100% human side. But the neat thing that we get to learn, though, is that we're also 100% divine. And we also have that limitless, timeless, God is our source, we are expressing that. That is also us. And freedom comes when we're living our human life and having our human experiencing and not denying or pretending things aren't happening, but going, but guess what? I also know I'm 100% divine. And I can bring that to my human experience. 100% divine and plus 100% human equals freedom to be the best me I can be. When we remember, that's kind of the equation I want you to 100% divine, 100% human. When I recognize and know that equals freedom, 100% freedom to be the best me I can be. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. So this morning I'm going to talk about what do I mean by this? What is faith in this thing? What is the freedom of faith? And then I'm going to talk a little bit about, how that works. And then finally maybe some tools to use it. All right, some ideas and suggestions on how to apply this to your life. So what do I mean by the freedom of faith? I have a little note here. Okay, well, that wasn't too bad, just a little. Yeah. We're testing out something here. And we have the freedom to just go, it's all right, it's going well. Okay. So what I really mean, I love that quote, you will know the truth and the truth will set you free. So what I'm talking about faith is faith in knowing the truth. Faith in knowing what I just talked about, the 100% divinity which is within all things. And when Linda Martella Whitsitt, she wrote a book called Divine Audacity, which brings down the 12 powers of man, which are long-held unity teachings, long-held New Thought teachings. It actually started before Charles Palmer, but he really meshed it out. And she's written a delightful book about it. And in there, she talks about the power of faith. So I really want to talk about faith as one of our innate spiritual powers today. That's something that we can call upon and we can use. So she breaks it down into 3 things. She breaks it down into conviction, perception, and expectancy. And I'm going to tell you a little story. And hopefully this story, then I'm going to kind of illustrate how I think this is a story that brings in the 100% divine, 100% human, and equals the 100% freedom of this person to be perfectly the best that they can be. Okay? So this is a story. It's from a book. And I'm using my Kindle. I've never done this before. I'm free to take time. All right. And this is from a book that's called, I have it on here. Okay, I can't find the name of the book. Oh, I don't want to make too much time on it. Anyway, I'll send you the title of the book if anybody's interested in it. But this is a book basically about death and dying. Okay? And it's a spiritual, but how to spiritualize that practice, all right, dealing with healing. So this is a story about a woman who has come into the hospital, who's going through the end stage of her life. And this is what they say. Rose came into the hospital in great pain, antagonistic and confused. Her whole life had been lived in a very ambitious, business-like manner, very self-interested. Distrustful that people were just out for all they could get, and that anyone who was not doing that was just a failure trying to hide behind some bleeding heart stuff. The nurses said that she was a very difficult patient, a real pain in the you-know-what. As one nurse put it, because of her competitive, resentful lifestyle, she found herself dying with no one visiting. And it goes on to say even her sons and her daughters, her grandchildren, she was estranged from all of them. She was just alone in this hospital dying. And, can you imagine how terrible that would be? Now, then he goes on and explains how she her heart started to soften. And she had an experience, her name was Rose, and she had this experience where her pain was so immense that she was laying in bed. And she just kind of let go of all of the attachment to everything, kind of went outside of her thinking. And in that moment, she was able to connect with, she had like visions and felt the pain of what she says 1,000 women. She felt the pain of a Native woman in Alaska. She felt the pain of a person from India. She felt all of this pain of these women and how they were bonded in this love, in this connection. I would say she felt the divine. She felt that connection and oneness. And after she had this kind of transformative experience, she became a different person. People she felt the love, she softened, and when people came into her room, she received that love. She reached out to her family. She made amends, but it wasn't just she just had this incredible experience. People wanted to go in her room and be with her because she was shining the light of the divine. Now, she still passed away. She still went through that process. That was that 100% human thing, but she really found her 100% divine. And that combined equaled being 100% free to be the best her she could be at that time. So let's break down. There's 3 words that Reverend Linda uses for faith: conviction, perception, and expectancy. So Rose, in this story, conviction. Well, the conviction came from that moment, right? It came from just a deep knowingness. She knew it in her very bones. So that's just, what do you really know? Conviction is, what do you really know? That's what conviction comes from. And sometimes we have to ask ourselves that. What am I really knowing right now? What am I convinced is true? It's a good thing to check in with yourself every now and then. It really is. And then the next thing is perception. She saw the world in a whole new way, right? Instead of thinking everybody was out to get her, and she saw love. She saw connection. She saw value in her own experience, This was a person who was being taken care of. But she knew she was a radiating light of love, and that there was nothing that limited that. Her physicality didn't limit it. Ever just been in someone's presence who might be having a very difficult time, but you're just drawn in by their light, and you know the truth of them. You're like, wow. And because of that, she had that perception. She radiated out, and of course, she got it back. She saw it. So perception and then expectancy. And of course, why would it be expectancy? She was laying there, and she was going to come to the end of her physical life. That 100% human might have been scared or and anything. We love our 100% human. But because she really remembered her 100% divine, she was 100% the best person she could be. In an expectancy that she knew that part of her that was timeless, that divine, was never going to end. So that's what I mean. We can really look at those three things and really step into our freedom, step into faith. I know the truth, it will set me free. And I use this example because what does that feel like a free story in the human? Not really, but when we know what's underneath everything, there's freedom in all, right? So how do we do this? How does this work? And I'm going to use just another example. And I'm thinking about people in hospitals and prisons. This is my thing here. Prisons and hospitals, people. And I know I might have talked about Nelson Mandela before. But Nelson Mandela became the South African president, was a Nobel Prize winner, instrumental in ending apartheid in South Africa, and he spent 25 years in prison. I mean, we think about him as this great leader. He was in prison for 25 years, and the very first prison he went to, it was just horrific, terrible treatment. Just, them hitting rocks and just beating up, terrible, horrible conditions. Subhuman. They were treated as subhumans. But Nelson Mandela had conviction, all right? He had his faith. And we know this because he recited lines from a poem called Invictus. And this is what he said to himself. He would recite it regularly. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Talk about speaking to your 100% divinity. Your consciousness of whatever's going on. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. That gave him conviction. It doesn't matter, yes, it matters. My humanness matters. He never stopped fighting for the rights of his people and for himself. His humanness was that was his program, that was his practice. But he always remembered his divinity too. All right, that is what got him through. And it was to the point, so that was his conviction. And he had a tool, right? He just kept reading this whole poem. That was his tool. That reinforced his conviction. That faith set him free in his divinity. And he was having a human experience, but he was 100% the best person he could be, the best he could be because of that. So then we have perception. So what was perception for him? He easily, and no one could have blamed him, felt sorely used. And I'm sure he did. I'm sure there was a part of him. But it was said, the story about him is that the guards came to see him as a dignitary. The guards would, people would come and see them, and he was treated like a dignitary by them. Because they could see the truth of him, because he shined it so brightly. Because that was his expectancy. That was his perception. And that's who he saw himself. So he said, you're going to see me, I'm going to see you as someone whole and true. I'm going to see that in you, and you're going to see it in me. You're going to see me and give me the dignity that I deserve. And I'm going to give you the dignity you deserve. He saw it through an amazing lens. I mean, incredible human being. And then finally we have expectancy. 25 years. 25 years. Plus all the years before that. He never gave up on that dream, did he? And we still talk about him today, and we're inspired by him today. What an incredible. So that expectancy is there, that expectancy of seeing something greater. What we teach about God is that there's one power, one presence, All possibilities. If you can imagine it is possible to God, it is possible to you. If you imagine it is possible to God, it is possible to you. That means all possibilities exist. Our humanists go, well, what about, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. All right, well, thank you, humanists. This is where I get to practice and play. Okay, thank you. I love you. Love this body. Love my circumstances. Love the opportunity to do everything I can. Without my humanness, I don't know what the point would be, really. But I'm going to remember I'm a divinity right now. I'm going to remember the divinity in everyone. I'm going to remember the thought that, wow, everybody could wake up tomorrow. They could wake up right now and know, you know what? You're just another part of me. We're just another part of each other. Oh, you mean when I care for you, you care for me? And it's not quid pro quo, it's not because that's who we are. You mean when I look at you, I'm seeing the face of what I call the divine? You mean we're timeless beings and we don't have to just grasp at everything? It's possible everyone could wake up, and I'm including myself in this because obviously I don't live in this plane of thoughts and consciousness all the time. But what if we just all gleaned a little bit more? And that's my expectancy in the big part of it. That's the divine. I think he lived that. That was what he did. That is what he did. So, that's how am I doing? We got time, folks. All right. So, all right. So when we hear these stories, right? So one person had like this major epiphany, right? Like, wow, I woke up, Rose. Then we have the story of the leader. I told you I lost name. Who had something within him that just had a conviction. I think some people are just born with this, right? I just think we're all born with different, just born with that. And it was nurtured somehow in his life. He didn't lose it. I think when we're kids, we get it. And then somehow we lose it through condition. But the rest of us, it's called practice, all right? It's called a spiritual practice. Faith is a practice. When we talk about our powers, it's a practice. So when you look at faith, for instance, let's look at conviction. Let's look at conviction, for instance. And there's a quote from Eric Butterworth. And I just love this quote in relation to conviction. Let me lead you into the wonderful world of the Christ within you, where you will know and know that you are a limitless expression of the divine. So lead yourself into the wonderful world of the Christ within, where you will know. Not only that, you'll be aware that you know. Isn't that interesting? Because we have an awareness, and then we have that kind of human awareness, right? You will know that you are a limitless expression of the infinite. That's where we want to really place our conviction, right? I don't know about you, I'm not always there. So what is the tool there? It's the same one you probably hear it every single week. Prayer and meditation. Prayer and meditation. And whatever that looks like for you. Prayer could be taking a walk. It could be going out on the labyrinth. It could be reading a poem. Like Nelson Mandela, I remember his name. Nelson Mandela had that poem that kept him grounded. What grounds you in that? What are those words? What is that song? What is that language which touches your heart? I don't know what it is. I have so many. Because it's a practice. But you have your own. What is that for you? You're here right now, so I know your willingness. And that's a big part of it. You're willing. So take that willingness further. Take it into that relationship that's a little challenging. Take it into listening to whatever kind of news you're listening to about your neighbor or relationship or whatever it is. Take it. What grounds you? Where can you just take that moment? So conviction comes from practice. And also just grace and ease. And remembering I'm 100% human, I'm 100% divine, equals 100% perfectly the best me I can be. So when your humus goes, well, I don't know about that. I don't know. I don't know about you. I hear that a lot, right? I had a problem with my keys the other day. And I know this is that those are where we practice. We don't have to practice on the big field that we've prison or being in the hospital. I share those because they're generic examples, but the practice comes in those little things. Losing your keys. Okay, well, it's going to be all right. I'm going to find those keys. It's fine. You know, either I'll find them, my wisdom's going to guide me there, or I'm going to know how to handle it. And that's 100% true. I'm not lying to myself. I'm not denying the circumstances. I'm just affirming within my divinity that I'm wholly equipped to handle anything that comes my way. So practice conviction, and that really just comes from prayer, meditation, all of that. Practice. Just practice. And let's say you're I'm not a great, meditation is interesting for me. I am not one of those that goes into a trance and sees celestial beings, and I just don't. I don't. We went to you can do the prayer vigil when you go to Union Village, and you can go sit up it's really cool. You can sit up in the cupola and sit with the prayers. They let you do that when you go to retreats. But my mind wanders, and I just keep bringing it back. God is I am. Peace, be still. Whatever it is that I want to ground myself into that moment. The most basic for me. For meditation, for me, is the most basic. Because I'm really trying to open up to it all. And mine's feeling, my teacher for meditation is Yoda. Do or do not. There is no try. Do or not. So when everyone's down there, oh, that was so restful. And I'm like, oh, I'm glad I did it. And I'm not going to compare myself to you and say I did it poorly. But there is a human part of me that goes, well, but I know I did it. Just do it. Just do it. Just give yourself a minute. Take a walk. Whatever it is. Do a drawing. Listen to a song. Do you. But I'm going to tell you, when you're thinking about the facts that you're opening up to infinite possibilities within yourself, I'm going to say an infinitesimal second of that is going to help you. It's going to help you remember your divinity. Don't judge it. Don't judge it. And you can hear me, because I'm working on it myself. This is a practice field. This is a play practice field. So that's what I'm saying there. That tool, I know you've heard it before, but I'm going to tell it again. Okay, the other tool for perception I want to talk about. And I like this quote, so I'm going to share this quote first, because I think that it's really easy to get caught up in the events that are happening within your own life, within your body, your circumstances, or within the community, the world, the country. This is from Emily Cady, who wrote Lessons in Truth. Do not disturb yourself about the appearance of evil all about you, but in the very presence of what seems evil, stand true and unwavering in affirming that God, the good, is omnipresent. So don't disturb. You see appearance of evil, whatever that means to you, something to your not liking, unkindness, injustice, whatever that could be. I don't know what that is for you. But in the very presence of what seems evil, stand true. So that's where you get that conviction to start, right? It kind of builds on itself. And unwavering and affirming that God, the good, is omnipresent. How does that relate to perception? You're looking for it. What lens are you looking for? Rose in that story was looking at the lens like, I have to take care of myself. The world's out to get me. And then she had this amazing awareness because it's the truth. It's not that amazing. She got out of all the busyness of her life, and she was able to go, oh, you know what? Even in this extreme pain I'm in, I'm connected to everyone and everything. My heart softens. Life is really beautiful, and I'm an integral part of it. I am 100% divine within my 100% divinity. So perception is choosing, and the tool I'm going to give you is something called day-tight compartments. So this is something I learned from Fearless Living. Not Fearless Living. That's another book I love, though. That's a good one, too. But this is called How to Stop Worrying and Start Living by Dale Carnegie. And in this, he teaches this practice called living in day-tight compartments. And this is a tool he learned from someone who worked during World War II. This is an old book. This person worked in subs. And when he was in a sub, he would have to close one door and I'm not a sub operator. I'm sure it's not like this, but I just see it like he closed one door to the outside and closed the door here, and he had to be in an airtight compartment. And he had to kind of imagine that was safe. And then this man came back from war and started worrying and stressing. And he's like, I live in day-tight compartments now. So I close the door to the past, and I close the door to the future, and I live in this now, here moment. It's a way of living in the now, right? Now, I'm going to tell you, adding a little spirituality to it, we're not pretending with that 100% human stuff, we're not pretending the conditions aren't happening on either side. But what we're going to do is we're going to take I say just invite all of the wisdom in, all the ideas, all of the stuff from that past. I learned some stuff. There's things I need to do, right? Okay, otherwise, but the worrying, the stressing, the repeating the conversation you had 40 years ago. Am I the only one? Like, or something you did like 40 years ago. You don't even know this person anymore. And for somehow, no, thank you. I'm going to seal that off, the past, bring in all the wisdom with me. I'm going to bring the 100% divine. I'm going to bring the human stuff I need to know with me. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the future. Mainly on the future, I'm just going to close off to those things I have no control over. None of us know what tomorrow's going to bring. We can speculate, and there's that humanness in us who wants to speculate. We have to be prepared. Love that part about yourself. Love it. And tell yourself, I'm gonna know what I need to know to do what I need to do today to be prepared for that tomorrow. I'm gonna know what I need to do today to be the best me I can be. Because I am free to do that. Because I'm 100% human, 100% divine, and when I combine those two, I remember the truth of I am, that I'm 100% free to be the best me I can be. But it's hard to do if we've got all this noise and all this noise. So, day-tight compartments. Thank you, Dale Carnegie, and that man on the side. All right, so finally, the last thing I want to lead to is the whole perception and then expectation, which is the word in a couple months. I'll have a lot more to say then. I won't save all of it, but expectation, it kind of seems counterintuitive to perception, what I just said about day-tight compartments, right? But expectation in the sense that I'm here now in this present day, being led by my intention to be the best person I could be, the best me I could be, the free person. And I'm going to know that I'm taking the steps in order to have an intention, live the intention of having the future I'm looking for, right? And meeting that head on. So that's what I'm going to say about that. And what the most important thing I think in that area is you're not alone. Just like Rose found out when she was in that hospital, she knew she was a part of something. She didn't have to get out of that bed and express her divinity and go around, hug everybody and be healed to have this deep spiritual experience. She knew she was right where she needed to be. And I believe that probably her expectancy was that when I go on to the next thing, I'm timeless. This connection, this love, this opening up cannot end. So that's remembering our divine and knowing within our humanness that we know what to do. We can play and practice. That's all I'm going to say about expectancy. Just to remember you're not alone. And if you find yourself feeling despair or concern or worry, it's very natural. It's very human. The day-type, if the conviction and the day-type compartments, then reach out to each other, right? Reach out. Reach out to someone who knows it for you. All right? So that would be my tool for that. Okay, so free to be the best you can be. Free to be the best me you can be. So just remember, 100% human, 100% divine. When we remember that, equals freedom to be the best me I can be. And throughout this week, I just encourage you, where am I placing my power of faith? Where is my conviction? How am I perceiving things? Where's my expectancy level? And have some fun with it, because this is freedom. Yay! All right, thank you very much. All right. Okay, we're going to end with just should I end with the meditation? Okay, sorry. It's a segue. I won't too long. So I'm going to end with just a brief meditation. I'm just going to, this is a poem I wrote a while ago, and I know I've shared it with you, but it just fit this. So I thought, I'm going to share these. I'll read a few things at a time, and I'm just going to let you sink these words in. I use it in the first person, but I want you to feel this in your heart, okay? So if it's comfortable for you, go ahead and close your eyes if you like. It's called I Know the Truth. I know the truth of who I am. I know the truth of what I see. I know the truth of who you are. I know the truth will set us free. I know the truth will set us free. I know the truth need not be questioned. I know the truth needs no defense. I know the truth is ever constant. I know the truth is always there when I close my eyes to see. I know the truth is there when I close my eyes to see. I know the truth brings me peace. I know the truth cannot cause pain. I know the truth is equally shared by all. I know the truth is just, kind, and fair. I know the truth when I enjoy a deep breath. Enjoy a deep breath and know the truth within. I know the truth is in every act of kindness. I know the truth is in every act of forgiveness. I know the truth is in every prayer to know oneness. I know the truth is in every moment that we are loving to ourselves and others too. I am loving to myself and others too, right here, right now. I know the truth survives all things. I know the truth is never changing. I know the truth is where courage, love, beauty, joy, and peace reign supreme. I know the truth lies in each human being. I know the truth lies within me. And say that to yourself inside one more time. I know the truth lies within me. And I know the truth sets me free. Let those words fill your heart. Whatever's going on in your mind, I know there's a part of you that's taking this in and knowing this, knows this truth. And we know this for each other. We know this for just expanding out onwards into infinity, because that's the truth. If it's comfortable for you, I'd invest in just another deep breath. Just kind of seal that thought in your mind and in your heart, and you're 100% human, 100% divinity, and you are the truth, and so it is. Amen. Amen. Okay, now I'm done.